Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. You got yourself a little basketball game. 8:30 is your pregame show tonight. Brendan Tobin has your coverage. 7:15 pregame show as Jonathan Zaslow has health and safety protocols.
Whoa, my boy on playoff duty.
You know what that means?
Let's go.
What does that mean?
Somebody get the film ready.
Wow, that is rude. Really? That's what you're going with? You're a real jerk. You know that?
Hey, I'm not the one who flims up every time they get in those crunch times.
That's not every time.
FTX Arena.
I did it one time. One time.
FTX Arena.
Oh, my God. Right in front of Jason Jackson.
Did he look at you and go, excuse me?
I don't know. I shielded my vision.
Hey, you need some of this hot tea, baby. That's hot water, baby.
I need to get to that level where I could just keep calling stuff, even if there's hot tea in my pants or on my slacks.
No, see, that you wouldn't do it like that. You do it differently.
Oh, I would. I have no doubt.
You would probably do an old Ric Flair or something.
But yesterday it was boots on the ground. It was a practice yesterday, Leroy, as they're tuning on up for the Boston Celtics. You know, getting a little visual what's going on. You know, I gotta say, you know, it's business as usual for your Miami Heat. They were getting the little work in after the whole practice was done. PJ Tucker was saying, you know, this is Miami Heat. Our practices are tougher than the games, so they were getting that stuff in. It was fun. You know, Godfather.
The table.
Oh, I love the table, dude. I love the table. Riles, Andy, Zoe, Spo comes on over there, checks things out. Jimmy Bucket's doing his one-on-ones on the other side. This was kind of fun. I was watching. You had a little one-on-one competition between basically the guys that don't play that much, except for Vic. Vic was playing in there. He was giving everybody the business, kind of. To be honest with you, if I'm honest, Victor Oladipo giving the moves on people.
He's just smooth, man.
You know he really is. He's just smooth.
I just want, you know what? I can't wait till he gets his basketball endurance because he still gets a little tired.
Yep.
But yeah, and if he gets like that second win, he's gonna be a real contributor.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. It doesn't seem like Kyle Lowry is a go tonight. Seems like he is still on the mend from his hamstring.
Hammies don't play.
Hammies don't play, and honestly,
he
don't play well with a bad hammy. So take the time that you need. They don't. I mean, it's true, dude. They don't.
Is you know what? There's a couple of injuries that you hate. High ankle sprain, hammy, quad, and bone bruise.
Yeah.
There's no timetable on any of those injuries.
Jimmy.
The other one, calf.
Ooh.
Because every time somebody say calf, it usually end up being Achilles.
Right.
So
yeah, we've seen that. We've seen that with a couple of guys and a couple of stars in the NBA for sure.
So yeah, there's a couple of injuries you hear about where they go day to day and it'd be 2 months. You just don't know.
Well, Jimmy Bucket spoke yesterday after practice and excited for the Heat Celtics rivalry to be hitting another chapter here.
I think it's a pleasure and it's a blessing to be able to suit up for the Miami Heat organization, no matter who we're going up against. I think it hit a little different going up against Boston. We want that, though. We like that. I think it's going to be fun here in this arena. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be a little bit more fun on the road. Like I always say, I like our chances.
I think when he says it hits different, that means that Pat Riley's just going around the building and be like, hey, I effing hate this team. Okay, just so we're clear.
Here, we're to the point now. He don't have to go around. The message is clear.
I think he likes to go around.
You know what I'm saying? The message is clear. Like Pat Riley just sitting over on his table, giving the look. Pat Riley don't go to the table for every game or every series. He wasn't at the table for Atlanta.
Right? No, he was. No, he's always at the table.
I'm just saying, but
he's
at
Riley's
Boston.
Riley's at that table for Heat Kings.
But Boston, oh man, yeah, it's gonna be, it is very. This is gonna be 90s basketball.
Spo
With
was
these
saying
two
that yesterday.
defensive teams, like it's just, I don't see it here. If it's gonna be a good series, the scores are gonna be 90-85 every week, every game.
I don't think that it's going to be that low because I just think in today's game with a 3-point shot, I don't. But but the low hundreds, like that is nice. That is
You
90s
think they get
basketball
to
these days.
100?
Dude. If a game is not hitting 100 these days in the NBA, it is real bad, like real bad.
That's look again. Okay, let's think of it this way. What player is Spo going to take out of the game?
I mean, I think the way that he's gone at these series, he goes for the head of the snake. So I'm gonna guess he's gonna try and take out Tatum.
Take out Tatum, right? Now you're gonna take all those other guys. Jaylen Brown could possibly, heat up a little bit.
Sure, Jaylen Brown could heat up for him. Maybe Marcus Smart has a crazy game from three.
He's one of those ankle injury things, so keep an eye on that. Or foot. He's got something.
Yeah, he's questionable tonight, right?
Yeah. Who's the who's the guy that just has 7 threes?
Grant Williams.
Grant Williams. Okay,
Yeah.
really? If the hopes and dreams of the Celtics going to the finals is on Grant Williams, how you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, he's one of those guys in the role. Like when you go at home, a random role guy who has a crazy game from three. I mean, it happens. It happens. But they're going to give you one of those, just like Al Horford. I think that the most surprising thing from the last series was Al Horford gave him a crazy game on the road, like that.
Right.
Al Horford having a performance like that is probably the most surprising thing out of that Celtics Bucks series.
If you're gonna get a game like that, it's gonna come from a veteran who's done it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's very rarely like it. Tyler Hero a couple of years ago was an anomaly. That normally doesn't happen for a so-called role player.
Yeah, scoring 37 in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
Sure.
That's not normal.
The thing that's interesting about this Heat team, because obviously there's going to be a lot of parallels made to the last Eastern Conference Finals, and the main players are the same. Like Jimmy, Tyler, Bam are still here. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart are here. So there are parallels. Everybody else around them has pretty much changed, other than Tice is back.
Right.
And Robert Williams, has a much bigger role, but he's hurt, so you don't know. What his stats for the series is really going to be.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I would say for the Heat, like what has really changed for them other than Bam and Tyler aging is like Jimmy has had a much more prominent scoring role this run in the playoffs than he did in that last run of the playoffs. Like Goran was the number one scorer for the Heat. Not that Jimmy didn't have his moments, but his two most iconic score performances really happened in the finals when it was against the Lakers and everybody was hurt. And he's kind of gone at it with that lead everything kind of mentality this whole way. And I think maybe Kyle being out, I don't know if that's triggered him to go even harder with that type of stuff, but he is, I mean, his scoring numbers are crazy and they're crazy efficient. He's been unbelievable.
Yep, he has been. And so from I always wonder because they don't really double anybody. Would you be more afraid? And from an outsider looking in, say if you're not a fan of any team, I think of it this way: if you take Jason Tatum out.
Mm-hmm.
And you say we're going to take out Jimmy. What team do you think can fare better without their star, without their two primary scorers at this point?
That's a good question because I think you would probably say I think that Jaylen Brown, I think people would say is more proven, I guess. But the one thing that's been troublesome for Boston always is being able, they got to see. this is an interesting thing because Bam and Tyler, I would say, haven't really had a breakout offensive game. Well, maybe Bam at the end of that Hawks series, but this has always been a matchup that has favored Bam. He's always seemed to do well against these guys because it's not a very big team. It's not like he's thudding up around there like he is against Joel Embiid. And then Tyler's always had a lot of success against Marcus Smart. So you're talking about a couple of guys there who if they do try and take out Jimmy, they're going to need Bam and Tyler to step up in a big way.
Right.
And thankfully, this has been a matchup that has fared well for them in the past. But, this is a very, very good defensive Boston Celtics team. They're a lot better than they were a couple of years ago.
Now, the one thing that I would say is I'm not, and I am a little bit different than a lot of people from this standpoint, and that's this. We all tend to look at the box score and determine how well somebody played, and I look at the Heat especially, and I don't really look at it like that because I think if somebody's scoring the points, then they're fine. That means other guys can do other things. And that's kind of what happens with the Heat. You hit the hot guy, and then you work harder on the other end or getting offensive rebounds or stuff like that. Everybody kind of assumes that those other roles. So just because Bam hasn't had that come out game or where he scored a boatload of points and have a bunch of rebounds, I don't necessarily mean to me that he's not having as good a playoff. To me, it's much more of Jimmy has had, you got to feed him the ball. He's had one of those special runs, and Philly really just sit back and let him do his thing.
And Philly didn't really do that thing where they're trying to take Jimmy out. Honestly, it felt like they put more of an emphasis on taking out Tyler with trapping him and being more physical with him. And I don't know if that was a hope that Jimmy was just going to get ice cold with his jumper and that this run that he's on is going to I think that was probably part of the thought is, all right, what's the, Jimmy's never going to drop a 50 burger on us. Let's just let him go do his thing. But I mean, the guy's been, we're talking has been on a hell of a run. He is, even going back into the regular season, has opened up his range and has brought in the 3-point shot and seemingly has been, completely acceptable with that. Hit you a couple a game just to kind of keep you honest. And we know what a demon he is getting to the free throw line.
And I think, from the standpoint of watching this Heat team, a lot of people are going to look at this game, this series, and think that a lot of other guys have to show up. And it's not, to me, it's not a matter of showing up. It's that whoever is the first to understand what the other team is doing and other guys step up is going to be the first team to make that real run. So if they don't make adjustments on the offensive end, Boston doesn't, and they keep trying to get Tatum the ball, you might see the Heat make a run because if they try to take Jimmy out, then the Heat always seemingly seem to move to something else a lot quicker than other teams would when you take their star out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is going to be a fascinating one because I think that you are talking about two teams that are just well-oiled machines. They do play well all together. It is going to come down to, in a lot of ways, just what those role players can do, who's got the hot night. Max Strus has been playing amazing. I mean, this guy seems like he's getting better every time he touches the floor. Seems like his confidence is getting high every time he touches the floor. We know it's a revenge series for him because these bastards waived him. So he's got that in his back pocket. So it's going to be a fun series, man. I'm looking forward to it.
And I look at Max Strus plays with the type of energy and shoot the three, kind of like their version of Max Strus would be Grant Williams, right? That he plays with energy, shoots the three, just is a nuisance with rebounds and stuff like that. He's kind of all over the court. I think that's what the role Max Strus has grown into. So it'll be interesting to see because guess what? Marcus Smart coming back from a banged up ankle, right? Do you really want him in front of Tyler Hero? Because when he was healthy, he couldn't really guard him. And so does that put more pressure on guys like Jaylen Brown? Does that put more pressure on guys like Tatum to have to play a bigger defensive role? Whenever you do that, it takes away from the other end. So if it gets to the point where you have a Tatum or a Jaylen Brown on Tyler Hero, I give him the old Ray Allen. Keep moving, keep working him, keep running him around. Do what they did to Chris Paul, and try to work him so much on one end. On the other end, he was not effective. When he does the games, he watches the Panthers on his computer.
Yeah, I don't know how big
you're new to the game, so you got to pay attention.
Yeah, I just feel like, well, I think I should be okay. Like, if I were to just throw it up there. But the thing is, like, there's not much. The one thing I noticed working in Zazzle's there's not a lot of space. Like, I think Zazzle has like a little tiny tablet. I got a pretty decently sized laptop, so I don't think I got space to put it up there. So yes, he is actually kind of ruining my plans tonight to watch the Panthers and the Heat. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm filling in for Zazzle tonight. He's in health and safety protocols, so I'm doing the pregame show tonight. Looking forward to it. Should be fun. I was going to.
You got to do postgame too.
Yeah, I got to do postgame too.
Oh,
the whole deal, dude. The whole deal. Right. And then, I think he'll be
no
back
silly sauce. You got to be serious, Tobin.
Yeah, it's not how I like to. Even though I'm serious anyway, because I'm a journalist, dude. When I'm boots on the ground, that's what I am.
I'm lying.
What do you mean? Stop. What are you talking about? You see this footage I got yesterday? Boots on the ground, dude. You had the Heat practice yesterday. We got the table.
That's because Bam didn't. Did you get any questions with Bam?
He didn't talk yesterday. He talked on Sunday, and I had my daughter's birthday.
Okay, because I'm more than sure.
I am.
If it was Bam,
my shirt today.
If it was Bam, your ass would have been all googly. Oh, Bam.
No, that's not true, dude. Nah, we're cool. It's just
okay.
Couple pros.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Name another so-called journalist that replied to a player always.
Always Bam.
Always Bam.
Okay. Well,
always Bam.
Here's the thing. Okay, you smart aleck.
Or good game, which was
how many? Okay,
ridiculous.
well, he first of all
more ridiculous.
Hold on, you just say like I said it out of nowhere. He came at me and he said, "Hey, I appreciate the support. Hey, I listened to your guys' show. You always have my back. I appreciate that." So I said, "No problem. Good game." What is the harm in that? What is the harm in that? And then I had to get to my question, And then we end the interview and he says, "Thanks for believing in me," which I do and have since day one, because my uncle happens to be a rabid Kentucky Wildcats fan. And when everybody was freaking out about the Bam pick, he's like, "Most athletic guy I've ever seen at Kentucky. You got one there." And he was
always
right.
Bam.
He was right. So just because I was
and you gave him the baby blues and gave him the look.
Dude, I can't help with the baby blues flash. They're like the bat signal.
You look. Always Bam.
That's just
always
my face.
Bam.
That's just my face, dude. Stop saying like I.
That's
I
your
face.
Extra.
That's just my face.
Not.
That's my face.
No. No, it's not. That's the face that's up to something. That's what that face is.
Same face.
Every time you give that face, everybody start checking around in their surrounding areas because Tobin is up to something. Come on, man. Nobody says that.
Dude,
always Bam.
What is the big deal?
What is the big deal?
What he was saying thanks for supporting me.
Nothing.
I'm always going to support the guy.
Nothing that you have said in your entire life says fan with good access. Like I'm not always Bam.
Okay. These are different things.
Always
okay. First of all, I look at them as different
always
things.
Bam.
That was a show interview. We get into more shenanigans on the show. You weren't there. You were like getting your car fixed or something like that. So it's a different. We can agree it's a different hub when we're in the show as opposed to a press conference setting when I got to put on my Burt Sugar hat. I got to be a little bit professional. Man, man.
Why? You sure you wasn't born in the 1920s? Because, jeez, like all your imitations sound like either the same artist or 1950s AM radio announcer.
I don't sound like the same artist. Okay, they're all very distinguished, different impersonations. Okay, I'm fortified in all of that stuff. So
okay,
stop.
Let's have a little test. Give me some Creed.
I'm not doing this bit again. We just did this bit.
It never gets old.
It's just the same bit. We got a big game tonight. We have Panthers and Lightning, the Ric Flair series. Woo! And we got the Eastern Conference Finals. Don't look at me like that.
Against Boston.
Yeah.
Against Boston.
Yeah, Boston. Oh, I hate them so much.
I bet you WEI thinks they're going to win, right?
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. I saw on Heat Reddit yesterday, I'm looking for the ESPN panel, but the CBS Sports Experts panel, they have all picked the Celtics. Now, I don't know half of these jokers, okay? So who cares? But I looked at them, I'm looking at you, Brad Botkin, James Herbert, Jack Maloney. You guys know who you are. You all picked the Celtics. Celtics in 6, Celtics in 6. And by the way, they're all picking Celtics in 6. What real original. Way to show the guts out there. You guys, hey, hope that tree doesn't fall going out on that limb. Bums.
You done?
Nah, it's just, very like nobody has the guts to do it. Everything. You know what they are, Leroy? A bunch of sheep. Boston. Boston. Good for you. You know what? Just keep being loud wrong. That's fine. You'll end up looking silly when the Heat are hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy. You look silly when in Boston, perhaps Jimmy Butler is hoisting the Larry Bird trophy for Conference Finals MVP. Now, I don't know. I haven't given my official prediction yet. I'm not going to tell you where that series ends, but I'm just letting you know that, it's going to be a good one, Leroy. I'm excited for this series. You're not excited for the series? I'm excited for the series.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited we got a whole slate tonight. I wish that they could have found a way to do Panthers and Heat on a different night, but
agreed.
I mean, if you're hockey, what are you trying to do? And the hockey fans, and because if they have a choice, they're gonna go with the Heat, unless of course there's no Heat game.
Well, the thing that sucks.
So why would you compete with the Heat?
This is the thing that sucks about it even more, though, is like the Heat game's just starting when you're at the most critical juncture of the Panthers game, too. So it's not even like you can go side by side. Let's hear a little bit from PJ Tucker at practice yesterday. He said he's heard that Heat Celtics rivalry chatter in the building this year.
I've heard a few times, throughout the year about the thing with Boston, but we have that anyways. No matter who we're gonna play. That fight, that desire to win. We work hard all year to get to this moment, so let's prepare for it.
When he says that thing about Boston, he's referring to Pat Riley saying F Boston. I think that's what he's referring to as the thing.
Yeah.
Hey, PJ, let me tell you about how much I hate Boston. It's like, Pat, it's 8:30 in the morning. We're starting already? Yeah. Come on over here. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about how much I hate that city. Hey, you ever hear the story about how I told Danny Ainge to shut the bleep up? It's like, yes, Pat, we've heard that story. Yeah, let me tell you that again. Bums. I hate Boston so much. Listen, PJ said this yesterday. He's like, admittedly, I would have liked Milwaukee because everybody loves a good revenge series. But
yeah,
Heat Celtics, I'll take it. Not a bad second prize. That block, that's forever, Jason Tatum. You excited to see Daddy tonight?
I'm curious how that's going to play out.
What's going to play out?
With who's going to guard, how they're going to defend Tatum and all the other guys.
I think they're going to do what they always do, which is throw a lot of different guys at him. I think you're going to see a heap of guys at Jason Tatum. I think you'll see PJ on him, Jimmy on him, Bam on him. You'll see Caleb Martin on him at one point, Victor Oladipo on him. Like, you're going to see a swarm. Never give him the same look, Leroy.
I got you. I mean, if you had to stop one guy, that's the guy you go with, right?
Of course. He's the superstar.
You know, back in the day, they used to have a saying. They used to do it the other way. Stop all the role guys and let the star be the star. Because if he scores 50, if the other guys don't score but 20, you still win.
Right. But you know what? Something, dude. Eric Spoelstra, he is basically the crocodile hunter. Okay. You cut off the head of the snake. All right. You grab him right by the back of the fangs, and then all the rest of the.
Where? So he's crocodile hunting, cutting the head off a snake. That's not the same.
It is the same thing, dude. Crocodile hunter would do that with snakes all the time. He wasn't a one-trick pony.
Oh, all right. I got you.
He wasn't. I mean, he'd go out in the wild and he would go. You prefer Coyote Peterson? It's not really what Coyote Peterson does. He's more of an educational mentor for kids on animal treatment. But crocodile hunter, he would hop on the back of a snake and he'd take out the head of a snake, dude. You know, he'd milk them, get the fangs. You don't remember that?
Wow.
Yeah, that would happen, Marcos. I'm telling you. That would happen. So Eric Spoelstra likes to cut off the head of a snake, dude. That's what he likes to do. I mean, he basically made two players quit. And James Harden and Trae Young are just like, F this. I can't get by anybody. Enough.
It's true.
Enough. It's okay.
I'm still torn between the gator and the snake head. And
well, he's the crocodile hunter, but he would also go at snakes. I don't know what's to catch up on.
Okay.
I don't like your tone there. It's -1 for Sass.
Wow.
Because I didn't get the
one for Sass.
Because I didn't get your analogy.
For Sass.
Won't be the first time.
For Sass.
And just go ahead on Sprinkle Boy. Just add the sprinkles on there. Like I asked for ice cream without. Yep, there we go.
You're giving you more sass, Marcos. I don't know what to tell you.
For Sass.
Another one.
For Sass.
You got an official prediction?
Huh?
You got an official prediction?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Which pick?
Heat 6.
Wow. Oh, I thought you were going to swerve me. I thought you were going to pick the Celtics.
No. I don't
like
think
it.
the Celtics look, the Celtics are really good. They do a lot of defensive things, but the Heat are the OGs at what the style of basketball that they're playing.
Right.
So like and I believe that with the Celtics being banged up, they have to go deeper in their bench. And they're going to rely on guys that had good games that they shouldn't be relying on. Right? You go ahead, Grant Williams. You go ahead and shoot 22 threes. If Grant Williams shoot 22 threes, the Heat are blowing them out. I promise you.
Look.
So all you have to do with the Celtics is this. Match their intensity. Because I do believe 1 through 10, you have more shooters than they do. They are guys that can make shots, but pure shooters, guys that you can count on the floor to make a three, the Heat have more of that. So it's just a matter of how you're going to handle Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to say, go ahead and get yours, Tatum, but we're going to lock everybody down? Like, for example, the last series, they decided it was in the best interest of the Heat, of them, to double Tyler, but not Jimmy.
Yep.
So that's the move they made. I think the Heat are going to have to make very similar decisions. I would do a little bit of what Milwaukee did, dare them to shoot the three. So if they're shooting 53s, they ain't winning. You still have to believe that, even though you saw that wasn't necessarily the case the last couple of games.
You want my official prediction? Marcos, you want my official prediction?
See, I knew it.
Leroy, come on. You know, I've grown since then. You know what? I'm not here to play your games. All right. Yeah, no, I definitely want the official.
All right, also, JP, you want my official prediction?
They might not be here to play your games, but I am.
Excellent. Okay, so here's my official prediction. Okay. Look, this is a rivalry that stands the test of time.
Here it comes.
We're talking about, the fifth playoff series that these franchises have played. First, it was 2010, Dwayne Wade telling them after they got bounced in 5, gentlemen's sweep, I'm not going out in the first round like this ever again.
Is it true the Heat have never lost in the Eastern Conference Finals?
They've never lost with Eric Spoelstra as their head coach in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Eric Spoelstra. That's what the stat was. Okay, gotcha.
Then in 2011, Dwayne Wade, he had some friends, Chris Bosh and LeBron James, maybe you heard of them. They joined him. They gentlemen swept their ass in the second round. LeBron was crying on the court. He was so happy to finally beat Boston. He can never beat Boston. And then finally, Miami gave him the tools to beat Boston. 2012, maybe the greatest game of his life, down 3-2, game 6. LeBron James has the game, 45 points in the Garden. They poured beer on him. He had the look. Game 7, Chris Bosh comes, starts hitting threes on their ass. 2020, in the bubble, Bam Adebayo became Jason Tatum's father. They said that Bam versus Tice was a wash, and it sure was because
that was
Bam
one guy.
Doesn't matter. If one guy says it and he's a scout, he becomes they. And it was a wash. He washed them right off the court. Okay.
All right, I got you.
Washed them off the court. So, since Dwayne Wade said they weren't going out like this again, they don't lose to the Boston Celtics. And you know what they say, all right? You know what they say. We got a matchup here in coaches. Ime Udoka seems like a really good coach. I'm not going to lie. Guy's got credentials. But unfortunately, he's stepping up to the big leagues here, okay? Now you're going up against Spo. All right? Eric Mother Bleepin Spoelstra, as Leroy just said, undefeated in the conference finals. Undefeated. Ime Udoka, more like Ime Ujoka. Marcus Smart, fake depoy, all right? Only won it because Bill Simmons was crying like a little baby. No one's ever giving it to a guy. Shut up. Shouldn't have gone to Marcus Smart. Joke of an award that was stolen by Boston. Bill Simmons, Chris Mannix. You guys fugazied and flipped the ballots. Bam Adebayo was the favorite. Then all of a sudden, 2 podcasts talk about it, and the odds are flipped. Garbage. Everybody's out here talking about Jason Tatum. Everybody's talking about Jason Tatum. But the true thing is, Leroy, the best player in the playoffs so far has been mother bleeping Jimmy Buckets. It's been Jimmy Buckets, okay? Jimmy mother bleeping Buckets has been the best player. Not Tatum. Jimmy Butler's been the best player in these playoffs. All right? Jaylen Brown, good player. Got my respect. But here's the problem, okay? The Heat infused with toughness this year with PJ Tucker, who's come in and given a different type of dog mentality to this Heat roster, even more so than they already had. And let's not forget something, okay? Where Boston thinks they have intangibles, we have more intangibles. We have the most intangibles there are. We got Tyler Mother Bleeping Hero. He's so intangibles, he's tangible. All right? Dude, silky smooth. Baby goat. Bah! Boy wonder grown up before our very eyes. But I think the real X factor of this series comes down to one man and one man alone. And that is not only the fact that this man was wronged by the Boston Celtics, but he has risen like a phoenix with the Miami Heat. And that's Max Mother Bleeping Strus. We are going to be so hydrated on Strus juice this series because it's going to be oozing all through his veins, knowing what that bum franchise did to him, saying, "You're not good enough, Max. Hit the bricks. We want a real intangibles." Peyton Pritchard. Let me tell you something right now. Peyton Pritchard couldn't wash Max Strus's jockstrap. That's a fact. That's a fact, Jack. Max Strus has shown out in this series, in this playoffs, and he will show out in this series. And let me tell you something. You know why you play all these games? Why you want the best record? You want to know why? So you can have this game at home And by this game, I mean game 5. I mean game 5 at home because it's going to be our top hats and monocles on. We ain't going to a game 7. We are going to Heat and 5.
Wait, but you try.
That's why you play. Everybody knows that, young Leroy. You play the season to have game 5 in your building. People say, oh, game 7. Yeah, you can have game 7 if you need extra help, which the Heat will not with this franchise. Heat and 5. Heat and 5. F Boston.